A very good evening. I am William Evans with the latest from the world of news. The Rwanda National Police has arrested 3 men suspected of assaulting a woman in Nyamirambo sector as she was returning home from work. Let's take a look at this report. On Thursday night, leading into Friday, the police received information about an assault carried out by the 3 men against a woman identified as Nyaminga Koldet. They had waylaid her on her way home from work in Rwanda cell, Nyamirambo sector. The assault was also captured in a video that circulated widely on social media, showing the 3 men attacking the woman. Rwanda National Police says the way the crime was committed indicates it was a premeditated act.
Bamaze rero kumutema bamaze guhinda abantu bari baje gutabara no gutera ubwoba abantu bose byashaka gutabara.
After assaulting the woman, they fled to a school in Rwamara. From there, they went separate ways. These stay with people. Some of them they say are their wives. The following day, they asked those they stay with not to reveal any details about their whereabouts to anyone who came asking for them, saying they had committed a crime. They had seen the video making rounds on social media too. Since then, we kept searching for them together with other citizens who shared information about them. By yesterday 5:30 p.m., we had already arrested all the 3 suspects. The Rwanda National Police commends those who provided information that led to the arrest of the suspects, but also warns others who may be planning such violent crimes that there is no safe hiding place for them. We want to thank all of those who shared information with us. I also want to thank the person who captured the video because in one way or another, it helped us get to these suspects easily. The collaboration between people and police is such an important thing in stopping such crimes. We have the capacity to investigate any crimes and find suspects. I want to therefore ask Rwandans to rest assured of their safety. But I also want to sound a strong warning to those planning to commit crimes that they will not hide from the long arm of the law. According to the police, this is not the first time the suspects have been linked to such crimes. One of them had just been released from prison after serving 2 years for theft and drug abuse, while another had served 3 years for assault and battery. The Rwanda National Police says investigations are ongoing to identify possible accomplices, and it has also foiled another violent plan the suspects had intended to carry out in Kinyinya sector. Now, the Rwanda Environment Management Authority, REMA, is calling on everyone to step up efforts in protecting the environment. This Saturday, REMA joined students from schools neighboring Nyandungu Eco Park to remind them at an early age of their responsibility to care for the environment. We do have details. The event, organized as part of a week dedicated to marking both International Day of Clean Air and the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer, featured a running competition between pupils of GS Remera Catholic and Kigali Parent School. Students were also encouraged to take an active role in environmental conservation by planting 5 trees each, with the responsibility of nurturing them until maturity. School leaders who participated in these competitions explained that this message builds on the lessons they already provide on environmental protection. In schools, especially because we are usually a big number meeting in the same place, we need clean air, and for us to have that clean air, we must firstly care about our surroundings and nature. Our students usually engage in a number of activities relating to cleaning up the school and also tree planting in our school compound. The Deputy Director General of REMA, Munyazikwiye Faustin, emphasized that protecting the environment is a responsibility shared by everyone. On this 13th day, we wished that every child, knowing well that they can be catalysts of change, be in our families or even at the national level, to participate in our Clean Air Day. The International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies is globally celebrated on September 7th, while the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer is marked on September 16th each year. Rwanda, however, has chosen to combine the 2 occasions, celebrating them in 1 week dedicated to raising awareness about the importance of protecting the environment for the well-being of all. Now, the non-governmental environmental conservation organization, Albertine Lift Conservation Society, said that after 30 years since its establishment, it is grateful to the partners who have worked with it in the journey of protecting the environment and promoting communities. The past 3 decades for ACROS have been a great opportunity to safeguard the environment, restore biodiversity, and uplift communities. However, this journey was not done alone, as it worked with various partners. One example is BK Foundation, and its executive secretary, Ingrid Karangwaire, says that the philanthropic arm of the BK Group are very pleased to work with ACROS because in the business context, it helps the bank to demonstrate its impact to the community. In 2023, ACROS took a significant step in expanding partnerships across the African continent by launching the African NGOs Alliance for Environmental Sustainability. This network brings together 32 organizations working in environmental conservation and development from different African countries with the aim of restoring biodiversity integrity and promoting the integration of environmental protection into the economy and community livelihoods. Now, Rwandan author Sibo Yvette Ishimwe, author of a book which focuses on how people should take care of their mental health and how those with mental health issues can be supported, says that people need to understand that a person who has suffered from depression or other mental health disorders is treated and supported, if treated and supported, can recover and once again become productive for themselves and others, just like anyone with other common illnesses who recovers after treatment. She made these remarks during the launch of the book Mind in the Margin on Saturday, explaining that the book is intended to help anyone seeking knowledge about mental health, especially the youth, as well as those going through severe depression that end up turning to drugs and other harmful practices that put their lives at risk.
Of writing Minds in the Margins, I wanted to share a message throughout the world how they can help people who have mental health issues, because those people really they are marginalized. Like from when you read the title, you see minds are in the margins already. They are being marginalized. So the reason writing this book is so that people understand mental health, how it is, and they help people who are going through mental health. And I believe that this book is going to help reduce the rate of suicide if we can all take care of this and understand what we mean by this. There has been so many cases, especially in Rwanda, of young people committing suicide. Most of them, it comes from mental health issues. But this thing is not being tackled as it should be. And people still perceive it as a taboo, things like people are weak and stuff. But these people need to be taken care of. They need to be taken to the hospital so that we stop losing those lives. The key message hidden in this book are the stories of people who attempted suicide and they survived. They share their journeys and how they overcame. So I believe if everyone can read those things, they are going to understand that it is possible to come there and just become successful people in this life. And also something else that I believe is very important, it is that it shows what is mental health, types of mental health illnesses, and it also helps people understand the stigma and how to fight the stigma against mental health.
Now, analysts are warning against taking the recent fact-finding mission report on the situation in North and South Kivu in DRC at face value. They argue that doing so could lead to wrong policy decisions and failed implementation, ultimately worsening the situation instead of helping it. We do have a report.
We do. Good morning, everyone. You should have.
The report, submitted to the UN Human Rights Council, investigated alleged violations and abuses of international human rights law, breaches of international humanitarian law, and potential international crimes linked to the latest escalations of hostilities in North and South Kivu. But upon presentation, the report has faced rejection from both legal and political analysts as well as some scholars.
I have strong reservations on the report, and my reservations are centered on technicality and the methodological limitations cited in the report. The report says it faced a number of constraints, and some of those constraints invalidated the report in some ways. In the report, they said they were denied access to areas where M23 controls. And from the point of technicality, when you are denied access to the sources of data and information, it limits the subsequent actions in assessments or fact-finding assessments. So if you have no access to where information is, you cannot analyze. What will you analyze? And the moment you cannot analyze, you cannot do conclusions and recommendations. The 3 steps are logical.
These are some of the reports that, if taken as they are, they generate decisions that are wrong decisions, implemented the wrong way, and the results are bound to be wrong. We cannot take these types of reports for granted. People have lost their lives because of these types of reporting. Misleading reports, decisions founded on misleading reports. We cannot keep quiet when people are still doing this type of reporting.
According to these experts, the report risks fueling tensions rather than creating pathways to peace.
From where I stand, I think that we have to examine it from the point of technicality. You cannot say that mediation processes are going on, then you carry out a fact-finding mission and conclusions and recommendations are contrary to the aims and interests of mediation parties, and you think you're going to become a peace promoter. Instead, you are just in one or the other becoming a spoiler.
The type of a report is simply not helping the talks. It is throwing spanners into the works. You see this reporting showing that Kinshasa is not involved in direct control and support of Wazalendo. It says Kinshasa does not have sufficient capacity. There is no evidence showing that it has sufficient oversight and control over the acts of Wazalendo and FDLR for that matter. But who organized them? They say, yeah, looks like they organized, but after organizing, they've gotten out of control. Meaning, it is helping to deny Kinshasa the duty to solve the problem it created itself. That is not helping the talks. It is actually making the talks simple, rhetorical, and implementable resolutions, because the monitoring of the outcomes will prove that Kinshasa is not doing anything if that happens, and the excuse has been given by the fact-finding mission even before that resolution or the peace deal is concluded. On the part of Rwanda, it says Rwanda organized, trained, and armed M23, and that there are people identifiable within the M23 as Rwandan troops on account of their looks. This is in the report. Their looks, their accent, and there is even a mention of uniforms. Now tell me, what are those looks? If it's not, if you make it part of your fact-finding, what type of a statement is that? It is discriminating people by looks. In Eastern Congo, there are many looks, but they don't want to associate any look with Congolese, but Rwandans. And then that's what they say, it's credible evidence. How credible it is when it is evidence made credible by an individual who has a natural bias about looks, accent, you know, that doesn't make sense. Not any legal sense as far as I'm concerned.
Advocate Alois Mutabingwa further urges it is time for the Council to hold accountable those responsible for the damage such reports may cause.
It's now high time the community of nations began taking such individuals responsible for that distortion and the harm it does in the process of restoring peace and order and protecting the lives of people.
Meanwhile, Dr. Willie Mugenzi maintains that mediation remains the only viable route, provided all parties show clarity and commitment to their interests.
When people are fighting, they can't discuss, they can't talk. So one principle, number one, is stop fighting, cease fire, then you talk, okay? In Northern Ireland, they came up with the principle that when you are shouting, you don't shoot, okay? They have to create a room where you shout, talk, and the guns guns will be silent. Abide by the principles of mediation, show interest, go with clarity of the interest you have in this mediation process, because failure to have clarity of the interest, you are just going to become stubborn.
As tensions continue to simmer, the critical question remains, will DRC choose to stop shooting and shouting and instead embrace dialogue? Or will it remain locked in the cycle of conflict? William Evans, RwandaTV News. RwandaTV News now takes a break and we return with international news.
Every journey has a beginning. From nature comes refreshing fruity goodness that keeps you going every day. With every pack complementing life's best moments. Not one, not two, but 5 different fruity flavors. And this journey keeps giving. Introducing Inyange's new fruity juice flavors, guava and cocktail. Now available at your nearest shop. Always ask for Inyange.
Nkiri muto arababwiraga data bati ntabwo wagira umukamo mwinshi utunze inka imwe, ariko nigeze acika intege. Mama akinjira mu bucuruzi hari abamubwiraga bati ntabwo watera imbere udakorera mu iduka rigezweho, ariko ntibyamusubije inyuma, yakoranaga umwete. Njya muri kaminuza hari abanshidikanyagaho bavuga ko nashobora kaminuza naturuka mu muryango wifashije, ariko byarangiye nanditse amateka mashya. Igihe cyo gutera ishema umuryango wanjye kigeze, bamwe bakomeje kumbwira bati ntabwo watera umuryango wawe ibyishimo n'ishema, ariko narabishoboye. Hari abakekaga ko nasigira umurage ukomeye abahomokaho, ariko ubu mfite uruganda rutunganya amata. Banki ya Kigali yabaye umufatanyabikorwa wanjye mu rugendo rwose, inzozi zanjye ziba impamo. Bigereho.
Wildfires continue to have an impact across the world, but the question remains, can technology help fight them? BBC News prepared a future story from Canada to find out how the new developments in technology are bringing hope of earlier detection and prevention of wildfires. Take a look.
The wildfire spread across the hillside behind these houses. It was a huge effort to protect them, and they managed to keep the flames away. But other communities around the world haven't been so fortunate.
I think with climate change, we are seeing a lot more wildfires. It's evident throughout the province. You know, the fires that we used to get were smaller. They were easier to extinguish. Now we're seeing whole communities wiped out.
There isn't a corner of the globe where wildfires aren't having an impact. But now developments in technology are bringing hope of earlier detection and prevention. And here in British Columbia, there's no shortage of startups joining the race to create them.
We can detect fire at smoldering phase, so without anybody seeing it, anybody smelling it, typically within 3 minutes.
It's a bold claim, but SenseNet have now deployed more than 2,000 of their devices to test it out.
These sensors can detect about 20 different types of gases. We put them around half a kilometer to 1 kilometer apart.
So let's put the sensors to the test. We've got some located all around us. We're going to set this bin on fire.
Yeah, let's do it.
How long before it appears in the control room as a fire?
Very quick. We only have 30 seconds to 1 minute.
We better go inside then.
Let's go.
So this map shows the sensors that we've placed outside.
Exactly. So we did the fire right in the middle here. We have sensors. These green ones, they were all green first, but then we have the 2 sensors that are in red. Those are the 2 sensors that detected the fire. So that was the first one, that was the second one, that was the third one.
When the alarm goes off, a camera automatically turns to the sensor to check for visible signs of fire and back up what has been detected. The alarm's going off and that's less than a minute.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we did it.
The devices run on battery, which should last more than 5 years, and connect to each other to relay the alarm back to control. That means they have real potential in remote areas and are now being deployed not only in Canada, but also Chile, Brazil and California. So with the fire detected, how to put it out? Startup Fireswarm are developing drones that could be capable of lifting enough water to stop flames. But for now, helicopters are doing this job.
Most helicopters are old legacy aircraft. VoxVision helps bring some of the latest tech onto these older aircraft platforms. VoxVision has up to 10 cameras on it. We've got a set across the front here that are used for real-time situational awareness, looking down and out and forward. We've got a telephoto camera for doing long-distance analysis. At the back, there are some high-resolution mapping cameras that can do multispectral imaging, near-infrared, that helps us see things like the moisture in the ground and helps us with forest fuel classification, where it might burn, where it's less likely.
A bit like a co-pilot for those operating the helicopter, providing information about where the fire is spreading and how effective each water drop has been. A lot of technology is moving in the direction of drones. Why not just send a drone up to gather all this information?
Drones aren't able to fly in the same airspace as helicopters are operating. We have to pause firefighting activity. Another reason why we have an advantage over drones is a helicopter has quite a powerful electrical system, and so we're able to draw enough electrical power to run advanced AI algorithms on our computer and provide information in real time or near real time to the pilot or ground decision makers.
VoxVision is currently going through testing by regulators with hope it could be fitted on firefighting helicopters soon. There are challenges to tackling this global problem with tech. For one, solutions don't always work in every environment, but there are also frustrations about investment in this sector.
The biggest challenge we have is the mindset. You know, a lot of what gets into the budgets, which are written about a year in advance, is more in wildfire landscape, is in fighting the fire, not so much on the detection. So we need insurance companies to step in. We need the governments to step in.
For now, wildfires are a challenge that aren't going away.
Fires aren't quick to put out, wildfires. I don't sleep a lot at night when it's 30 degrees out and 30% humidity, and you know, the winds that we get help propagate those fires. So our crews work very hard. It can be taxing on those crews when they're out for days on end.
That was it for the news tonight. We hope you're ready, because in 8 days, Rwanda's roads will carry not just cyclists but history in the making. I am William Evans. Have a good night. Goodbye.